Hi girlies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bailey. If you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more content at BaileyStewart. You can tell by the title, today's video is a Buff Bunny review. It's gonna be very quick because it's a very small launch and it got even smaller. Quick PSA, the bottoms, the Poshnit bottoms did get cut from this drop due to quality control issues. A lot of loose threads, glute seams popping, and enough to need to pull these. I am still waiting on confirmation on if these are ever gonna drop, like if they're gonna remake them or just cut it all together. I feel like since these are core colors, they probably will still like remake them and then launch them in like a little capsule later on, but again, I don't know. But the tops, bodysuits, and threads are still going to be launching, and the launch is happening January 3rd at 1 p.m. CST. Code Bailey, as always, saves you 10% off at checkout. Helps support me, counts as an entry to my monthly giveaway. And if you want to use your reward points but still enter my giveaway and support me, you can use my support link down below. Let's get into the review. None of the colors are new. They're all repeats, core colors. So we have Miami Vice coming back, which I'm so excited about. I feel like I don't have many Miami Vice pieces, if honestly any. Baked Blue returning, Azul, and then Lipstick Red, and then of course Onyx Black. All Poshnit and threads, so there's no other fabric. And again, there originally were the leggings coming, and I'm still going to review them just because in case they do launch later, I still have that review up, and in case you guys are curious. But again, they won't be dropping, but I'm sure eventually we'll be getting more Poshnit scrunch leggings, so I figured I might as well review them. But I love that we're now having multiple inseam options in the leggings and shorts. So for the leggings, we have a short, tall, and regular, which they've never done before in a legging, I don't think. So I love that feature. And then we have a 5-inch short now coming, as well as the 7-inch for the girlies like me that like a biker length a little bit longer. But the girlies that like a shorter inseam, we now have 5-inch as well. And all of the colors are dropping in all of the items, which I love, so you don't miss out. Like for example, some brands will only do like bikers in certain colors and the rest in like the 4.5 or leggings. So I like that if you like this color, you're able to get it in any of the pieces dropping. We have the Poshnit sports bra returning, and again, all the colors. I did not pick this up. I have the old bra to show. There have been no fit changes. I don't like this bra. It's just too long line. Just not my vibe. But if you like a longer line V-front bra, and then it's got this under scoop seam, and then adjustable crossover straps in the back, removable cups. Again, Poshnit fabric is a velvety soft fabric, very similar to ALPHALETE's Tenacity, so it is a little bit warmer of a fabric, can still pill. A little bit more durable than butter, but still pill prone. 70% nylon and 30% spandex. So it kind of has that like texture to it. Very soft, again, more velvety. So in the summer, I usually don't really wear Poshnit. It's too warm. So I really hope they come out, if they're gonna get rid of butter, which I hope they don't do, because I know y'all saw the Instagram where butter was literally the #1 fabric, I'm pretty sure, or it was up there. And I'm like, okay, so stop trying to get rid of butter. Cause like, they're trying to replace everything with Poshnit, or replace butter with Poshnit, I think. Poshnit's too hot. I get instant crotch sweat. So come summertime, I won't be wanting to wear my Poshnit bottoms. So I really hope they come out with like a more cooling fabric that's still very soft like butter, just more durable, because Poshnit for me is a little too hot in the summer. But it's got a bottom seam down here, which does help keep it in place a little bit more, but I don't like this because it just digs in like an unflattering way. Does make the girls look good, pretty true to size. But yeah, this is dropping, did not pick it up. I would like it more if like the scoop was where the bra stopped. As an IBTC girly. Like this type of bra with the little, that would be so cute. But again, I'm just an IBTC girly who likes less coverage, and this bra just doesn't do it for me. The only bra dropping, and then we have tops, Poshnit waist tank and the Poshnit hip tank. So only 2 lengths in this, no full length. So the waist tank hits more meet and greet, kind of like right at where your belly button hits the top of the waistband. And then the hip length hits right, at least for me on my short torso, hits right above my hip bones. Not at my hip bones, but right above. Obviously, if you have a longer torso, it'll also be a little bit shorter. Again, that's really gonna depend on the size you get and your torso length. But I have a short torso and I did size down in these. And in my opinion, this extra small fits like an extra small. So if you like a more compressive fit, are smaller chested like me, want it to snatch the waist, I do think you 100% could size down. Now, if you're larger chested, you don't want anything too tight, too snatching, stay to your normal size, but I would not recommend sizing up. I think it might be too big. So it looks like this, kind of has like the bloom front neckline, sweetheart neckline, very flattering on the chest. Narrow chest friendly in my size down. I wish I would have I thought I was gonna get one of these to be my true size and extra small to compare, but I completely forgot to do that. So I'm sorry about that. But in my size down, very comfortable. It's not too tight anywhere, not digging in. Like this, in my opinion, feels like how an extra small should fit. So I'm glad I sized down. I don't think I would have loved my true size. I think gaping could have been a potential issue as a narrow chest girl in this for me. So I'm very happy with sizing down. Again, it's got adjustable straps if you need to tighten or loosen it, that cross over. And then this kind of like bar detail, kind of like Catherine's Karma crop, I think is what it was called, with like a bloom front. And then it's got princess side seam, slight curved hem in the front, but not the back. And it's just the slightest bit curved. Built-in shelf bra, and it is a longer line built-in shelf bra. Like it hits kind of at my rib cage, so I wouldn't worry if you have a larger bust. Like I don't think you have to worry about the elastic kind of like chopping it in half or being too short. I think it'll be long enough for sure. Again, removable cups, Poshnit fabric. I'll do obviously side by side because I have the waist one on, but I'll do side by side of like waist to hip to show you guys. I like both, but I do think I gravitate more to the longer version, even though this one's still like pretty long on my short torso and hits at the top of the waistband. Very, very flattering. My favorite tank that they have done. It is the most flattering in my opinion, especially as an IBTC girly. Makes the waist look great and it's very comfortable. Again, I size down and there is nothing digging in, nothing too tight, and it's narrow chest friendly. So again, if you're similar build to me and like the same preference, I would recommend sizing down. I do think I like where the hip one hits a little bit better because I like having the option of being able to pull it down longer, and then if I want to wear it shorter, I can just kind of like shimmy it up a little bit, whereas with this you really don't have the option to like pull it down longer. Would spend my own money on this. I'm glad I got 3 of the colors. I really like this tank. I do think it's worth it, and I have not noticed any seam issues or anything unraveling in the tanks. Got it in the baked blue because I really don't have much baked blue at all. A lot of pieces when this color dropped weren't my cup of tea, so I'm so happy that I have this top in this color because I really don't have that much of this blue. Nice core color. I got it in, again, the hip, and then I got the azul in waist. Sorry, no. Yes. These lengths are confusing me. It has a lot of stretch. Love the built-in shelf bra feature. So here is the tank. So this is the hip bone length. They also have the waist. I prefer the longer version because it doesn't even hit at my hip bone. We'll do side-by-side comparison of the hip to waist tank. Again, both are Poshnit. The tops are dropping, just not the bottom. I did extra small, and I'm glad I did. I feel like it fits more like an extra small, so I definitely think I wouldn't have liked how the extra small fit. I think it wouldn't have snatched as much. And it feels more narrow chest friendly sizing down. The straps are adjustable, so I do appreciate that. And then it's got a built-in shelf bra, which is really long, like it's down to like my rib cage. So if you have a larger bust, you don't have to worry about the bottom band kind of like chopping your boob in half. And it's kind of got like the bloom front, like this ruching right here. And then again, it has princess side seams, slight curved hem in the front. And again, 2 lengths, very comfortable, even sizing down. Like I'm getting no digging in anywhere. But again, keep in mind, I am a small chest gal. I like to size down because I feel like if Sometimes if I do my true size, it's not snatching in the waist like I like, or if it's a wider bra as a narrow chest, small chest girl, it'll be in my armpit. So I do like to size down. I love the set. It's almost giving bodysuit vibes, which I love. Here's the hip tank. I did extra small in this as well. Fits the same everywhere. Just again, the main difference is that it hits more at like my belly button to meet and greet length than how the other one hits kind of like right above my hip bone. I still really like both, especially if again you have a matching set. They're both gonna give that bodysuit vibe. So those are it for the tops that are dropping. And then again, we have the leggings, which I'm gonna review anyways. So we have the Poshnit leggings. I did extra small and extra small to compare. So when I actually tried the sample of these a while ago, and I loved them. I don't know if they just like tweaked the sample from when I last tried it, which it could be very well likely. That happens a lot. I'll like a sample, and then when it's pushed into production, I'm like, this is not what I remember liking. So I don't know if that's what happened, but these are not how I remember them. So I'm glad I sized down. And when I try on their samples, I'm in an extra small. And with the sample extra small, it was a shorter rise than aggressive scrunch, like the butter aggressive scrunch. It had a shorter V seam, and I remember being like, it could even like be a little bit shorter, and they drew on the leggings, and I was really hopeful. I was like, oh my gosh, these are gonna be the best short glute cut and sew. And I still like them, but measurement wise, not the ones that I was raving about to them. So I don't know if there's tweak. I feel like there were tweaks because the rise is significantly higher. Like there's no way I would have raved about these leggings with this rise. There's no way. That's how I know that this is not the sample I tried on. So I did extra small in the baked blue, which, oh my God. I tried these going again today. The scrunch popped. Whew, good thing they cut these. Did they all pop? I remember putting it on and I kind of felt like I heard something. My pink are fine. My azul's fine. But my extra small baked blue, the scrunch did pop. The scrunch popped. That's a bummer. I think it's definitely the manufacturer struggling with this scrunch because it's not the same manufacturer that does the butter aggressive scrunch. Like that's why when Poshnit first dropped, it was called scrunch, but there was no scrunch in sight. And it was because it was supposed to, but the manufacturer just, because it was a different one, they didn't know how to do the aggressive scrunch. They literally had to like send them measurements of where to like put the seams, like literally spec by spec for them to like understand the scrunch. And so I think they still they're not doing the scrunch right. And that's why like, it looks the same, but clearly they're not structuring it either the same way, or something happened because it popped from not even like one wear. Whereas again, the Poshnit ones did not have a scrunch whatsoever. I was actually quite mad they even put that as scrunch. The aggressive scrunch one is much more durable. Very similar, but as you can see, like let me find a non-popped one. Like I feel like you can kind of tell like there's the slightest bit different. Like it's definitely a smaller scrunch, and maybe that's why like the manufacturer still just hasn't gotten the scrunch quite down. Like this is aggressive scrunch butter and this is the Poshnit, so I think the manufacturer still doesn't understand the scrunch, to be honest. It's causing it to pop, so hopefully they can figure that out. So I got this in extra small, which I've gotten before in aggressive scrunch, so that is what I'm going to compare it to. And again, the sample I tried on was a shorter rise, shorter glute seam, V seam than the Buff Bunny aggressive scrunch, the butter aggressive scrunch. These ones that are being put into production that like we're getting are pretty much the same measurements and fit as the butter aggressive scrunch, which wasn't the case when I tried on the sample. Again, they have turned what used to be a short glute friendly, short torso friendly legging into an ultra high rise. Anytime a bottom, like I try on a sample and it's short glute friendly, it looks so good, it's not too high on my torso. It's like someone stops it and is like, no, actually we need to make these higher and the V-seam higher like all the rest of their leggings. So I'm frustrated about that because it's like anytime we do get a short torso, short glute option, it is always tweaked because someone complains that it's too short. And it's like Buff Bunny's website, you go on there, majority of their leggings are high rise, ultra high rise, long glute seams. So it's so frustrating when like we get one option. So they definitely tweaked these because the rise wasn't this high. So I'm really disappointed. I have to size down in order for it to fit a little bit better. If you liked the fit of the aggressive scrunch butter, you'll love these because these are still, they're the slightest bit shorter, but that is again because Poshnit is a slightly more compressive fabric than butter. So it's a little bit tighter when on, not unbearable, but it's gonna make things fit a little bit shorter. But it is still on my torso, borderline ultra high rise. Literally baffled when I'm hearing people be like, they need to be higher. They're already past my belly button. How much higher are they supposed to go? Like, and the V-seam, like while it's better than like the Poshnit leggings, but the V-seam is still higher than I would like. They're still flattering, they still give glute separation, don't get me wrong. For most like average glute height gals, these are gonna be fine. If you liked where it hit on the aggressive scrunch butter, these are gonna be fine. But I remember the sample being much more short glute friendly. This V curve also, I remember we drew on the leggings so it wouldn't go straight to a V. That's not flattering. It's much more flattering when it kind of curves around the glutes. We had drawn on them. I was like, oh my God, these are gonna be so good. And they didn't do that. So don't love them as much as I did with that sample. I still do like them more than the butter ones because they're more compressive. I feel much more held in place. I like a higher compressive fabric. So when I size down to extra, extra small, like I do prefer the compression level of the fabric. It does make the V-seam, glute seam hit a little bit better. The rise hits more high rise, so like right at my belly button, whereas this goes past in my true size. So I still like them, still would buy them obviously once they tweak the scrunch. However, they are not as good as the ones I had tried in the sample. Now, obviously that is very biased as I am someone that has short glutes, has a short torso, likes a shorter rise, likes a shorter V-seam. If you are someone that likes a higher rise, has longer glutes, you're gonna like these. I size down. I do prefer my size down as true to size. The V-seam's too high and the rise is too high. Compression level is fine. That like even in my true size, it's a little bit more compressive again than my extra small butter aggressive scrunch because again, this is a low compression fabric. But again, Poshnit is a very warm fabric, so it's not something I'm gonna gravitate to in summer, which is a bummer. Which is why I'm like, hopefully they find a more cooling fabric to replace butter if they're gonna replace it, because I will not wear Poshnit in summer. Instant crotch sweat for me. Does still pill, again, it's still a pill prone fabric, but a little bit more durable than butter. I just like the more cooling feel of butter. I just wish butter was higher compression. Hip area also is a little bit better than butter. That one, the hip area was way too big as someone who has very narrow hips. So I do prefer these overall much better than the Poshnit leggings and the butter aggressive scrunch. But they're definitely not the fit I was raving about when I tried the sample. But we have the blue and extra small. The scrunches pop, so I'm glad those got pulled. And then I got extra, extra small in Azul and Miami Vice. Love these colors. The pink is definitely a little bit more on the sheer side, but I would say it's probably the same sheerness as ALPHALETE Tenacity colors that are like this. A little bit better than butter, but still a thinner fabric. And the scrunch did not pop in these, so that's good. But as you can see, like the scrunch still isn't like 100% right, as you can see, and I think that's why it's popping. When sizing down, the waist is more compressive. I feel more in place. Is more high rise than ultra high rise, and the V-seam is better, still higher than I like, but much better. Would spend my own money on these. Obviously, again, once the scrunch won't pop, but even with the V-seam where it's at, I still like them, still would wear them. Miami Vice. So a very nice pink. I'm really happy they brought this pink back because I don't have that much. I did extra, extra small, and I do prefer sizing down. I have the extra small, which I'll do comparisons. Sorry, the lighting is absolutely trash. When I size down, it is still high rise, almost ultra high rise on me in my true size. And so I wouldn't even consider these mid-rise personally. Obviously it'll depend on your torso and like what size you go with, but for me, even with sizing down, these are not mid-rise, more compressive than butter. So I do feel more held in, and as you guys know, I like a more compressive fabric versus lower compression. So I would say it's pretty similar to Newbury feel and compression wise, but I'm still able to size down. Sizing down again makes the rise fit a little bit better, more compressive. The V-seam hits a little bit better. I am getting a little bit of crotch tension when sizing down, but no camel toe, so it really doesn't bother me. And I love that they now have 3 inseams in these leggings. Again, this covers my belly button, so these are a high rise, but this is sized down. It is higher in my true size. So if you like a compressive moment, like you don't mind it being super compressive, and you want a shorter rise, shorter glute V-seam, I would recommend sizing down. But if you don't care about the rise, like a higher rise, you can stay it to your true size. The side seam goes straight. There is no curved side seam. And then the back, again, has the same scrunch as aggressive scrunch. Poshnit leggings first launched, these were supposed to have the same aggressive scrunch, but the manufacturer just couldn't get it right. It's very low key, gives glute separation, but isn't super in your face. As you can see, sizing down, the V-seam does hit better, but it's still past the top of my glutes. Like if the V-seam, like the glute seam's fine, but if the V-seam hit a little bit lower, like half an inch, it would be more short glute friendly. And I swear the sample I tried was more short glute friendly because I was obsessed with it. And now putting these on, the V-seam again is hitting higher. Like I definitely know I had mentioned bringing the V-seam more like this versus a straight V. And I don't think that happens. So I again still prefer these over the aggressive scrunch, and they're still pretty short glute friendly, especially once you size down. But measurements overall fit pretty similar to the Buff Bunny Butter Aggressive Scrunch. Just when on is going to fit a little bit tighter and slightly different just because of the compression level. I like these a lot better than the Poshnit leggings. Those were even higher rise. Long glute seam. I did not like those, so I do prefer this over the Poshnit seams. I did regular as a 5'4" girly, and it hits about 7/8 length. In high rise, when you size down, it's got really good tummy control. Again, these did get cut due to issues that people were having with seams unraveling and then the glute scrunch popping. Put the sticker in, do my sticker squat test. So these are brighter colors, so a little bit on this sheer side. I would say it's probably very similar to how ALPHALETE Tenacity does, squat proof wise. All right, so here's the extra small H blue. These are definitely different than the samples I tried because they had me try out extra smalls, not extra small, and there's no way I would have liked a legging with this high of a rise. So they definitely tweaked it because I remember I loved this sample that I tried. It wasn't this high and the glute seam wasn't this high. So I feel like this could be very well based off of my experience with Miracle, how prove a sample and then after production it would fit different. That could very well be what happened, or they tweaked it since I had last tried that sample. The fit is very similar to how the Butter Aggressive Scrunch fit. So high V-seam, really high rise in my true size. Sizing down, as you'll see in the pink, makes the fit much better, makes it more short glute friendly, more high rise versus ultra high rise. So I do prefer to size down in these as someone who doesn't mind a super compressive fit. If you liked the seams and measurements of everything of Aggressive Scrunch Butter, you're going to like these. It's just a little bit more compressive but hits the same everywhere. Still again flattering because it separates the cheeks, but this V-seam is going straight up my back, and I remember the V-seam kind of going like right at the top of my glutes, and I remember saying we could have even made it a little bit lower, and I don't like this harsh of a V. It kind of needs to sculpt and kind of curve. It just makes your glutes look longer and flatter at the top than when it curves. So I am really bummed they didn't do that. I do prefer to size down in these again. This is not the sample that I raved about, but Again, if you liked exactly how aggressive scrunch butter fit, you'll be fine with these. They fit the same. The sheerness is going to be the same probably as ALPHALETE Tenacity. And because it's a darker color. But when it's so high rise, the waistband just keeps rolling to like be shorter because I have a short torso. 7-inch short. Something about bikers just I find more flattering. I like that you can get that under glute fold that you can't really get in a shorter inseam. The 7-inch dropping, and design wise, again, the scrunch looks a little bit different, but seam wise is identical to Buff Bunny Butter Aggressive Scrunch. So you've got that slight curved hem right here. The waistband tapers in, it's double lined. Again, this is more compressive than Butter. And then no front seam, I don't get any camel toe. Sizing down in the leggings, I do get a little bit of crotch tension, but no camel toe. It doesn't bother me, but I do get more crotch tension sizing down in the Poshnit versus the Butter. But when on, these do feel a little bit shorter than the Butter 7-inch, just because again this is a tighter, more compressive fabric, and then once you pull it in the cheeks, like, you do lose a little bit more length, I would say, than this. It does roll. That is one thing. The leg opening isn't tight enough. It's way too wide, so it rolls. A 7-inch should not roll. So don't love that, but I do find these to be the most flattering on the glutes. All right, so here are the 7-inch shorts, extra small. I sized down in the longer length just because I knew I had that extra length, whereas I did extra small, my true size, in the shorter inseam. The leg opening isn't that tight, so even though it's a 7-inch, they are still in fact rolling. Still flattering, still something that I feel like short glute girls will definitely like. I still like that they're more compressive. I still love the scrunch. Definitely a hotter fabric. Again, more compressive than the Butter Aggressive Scrunch. These are at least not ultra high rise, but again, keep in mind I size down. True to size, it's going to hit higher. Very similar to Buff Bunny Butter Aggressive Scrunch, just a little bit tighter because it's a higher compressive fabric. More like velvety soft. So warmer as well. And I like this inseam much better than the 5-inch. However, I'm so happy they did a 5-inch because again, it's so important to, especially as a big brand, to offer options. Just like I'm always like, we need more mid-rise, we need more short glute. It's important to have options for also inseams, and they've dropped this style a lot that I feel like 5-inch should have come a lot sooner, because again, as much as I love my 7-inch, I know not everyone does, and shorter girls 7-inch can sometimes feel a little too long, but I promise once you put it in the cheeks and kind of like shimmy it and like it rolls a little bit, I personally feel like the length is great, especially as a 5'4" girly. But I know not everyone likes that length, so it's about time we got a 5-inch. I just personally don't like these. I did extra small in these because obviously extra small would have been too short. This seam hits right under my glute fold, so you don't get that glute fold, so my glutes don't look as good. Rolls, still high rise. V-seam, not as bad in the shorts. No camel toe, but again, yeah, I just don't like this short of an inseam, but I'm still very happy that we got it. Love that we have a 7 and a 5. My scrunches are intact in the shorts. It just seemed to be the blue for some reason that the scrunch popped. Here are the 5-inch. I don't like these. I got them strictly to review. I feel like my butt cheeks are borderline hanging out. This inseam is just not for me. But I did extra small in these. So again, hitting past my belly button, short torso. Inseam again does roll because the leg opening is not tight at all. It's fitting, but as you can see, the seam is literally right under my glutes. The bikers look so much more flattering. These aren't flattering at all in my opinion. Don't like how short they are, so they're just not my vibe. I am happy though that they did add more inseams because I know a lot of people aren't 7-inch gals, and for the shorter girlies will probably really like these. Again, has kind of like a curved hem. The sticker is in. I'm right in front of my window. And then we have the bodysuit coming back, and as you guys know, this is my favorite non-seamless bodysuit. This unfortunately was not available for PR, which I'm gutted. especially because like they had it at the event. So I'm like, what you mean we can't, it's like back ordered, like come on. So I'm really sad, but I will be going in for that Miami Vice bodysuit because it's so nice. Although I am hearing, again, I can't confirm, that they brought it out and made it less snatching. I'm gutted because the whole reason I like this bodysuit is because it was so snatching. So again, I can't confirm nor deny, but that makes me for sure going to get an extra small. That's what I did last launch, and it was definitely snug, but I sized down. I wanted it snugged. It snatched my waist so much, but I know true to size it would have been fine. So now that I'm hearing it's bigger, I'm definitely going to want to do extra small. It has a V-front waistline that is so flattering. You guys know I hate a bodysuit with a straight waistband. It just makes your waist look wider. V brings it in. And then it's got a built-in shelf bra, which I love, adjustable cross-back straps, and then it has that little cut-open detail. But I remember, I don't know if it's been tweaked, I remember this being a pretty short glute-friendly bodysuit. I remember the like V-seam not being as high as some of their other bodysuits, so it was flattering on the glutes, looked so good on the waist, had a nice sweetheart neckline, was very flattering on the chest. So we'll be going back for more, and I kind of want to get Azul too. I already have a ton of lipstick red and black bodysuits, so I'm not going to go for that color. But I think I might go for Miami Vice and Azul, because I remember when it dropped, it didn't come in Azul. And I was literally like, we need this bodysuit in more brights, more fun colors. And sure enough, they did that, so I'm very excited for that. And then we have threads. I did... Okay, the full zips definitely were not available for PR because I would have gotten that. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm a zip hoodie over a pullover because when I have my makeup on, I don't want to be pulling things over my face. So that's, okay, it wasn't on the website we're picking, but I personally would go for the zip. Does run oversized. Normally Buff Bunny will label something as oversized, and I don't really feel like that's true. These are definitely oversized. I got a medium in the pullover hoodie, and I'm like, ooh. I got the threads hoodie and lipstick red because I really don't have that many red sweat sets, and you guys know lipstick red has a special place in my heart. So I did a medium in this, and it is definitely oversized. Again, threads is a much thinner fabric than Cloud or their plush, so it isn't as thick. It's also like much thinner than even like White Fox quality. So if you're wanting a thicker hoodie, I wouldn't grab this. I wouldn't grab it. I mean, I guess it's good for people who get hot easily. I like a zip much better than a pullover. And again, threads is it's soft fleece inside, but it's very thin. Then we got the threads joggers. I was like, I need to get colors that I don't really have, and I don't have much red, or honestly, like I know this is like a basic color, but I don't really have much navy in my closet. You look at my closet, you will find like maybe 2-3 pieces that are navy. You know what? I do really like baked blue, so I snagged the thread jogger size medium in lipstick red and baked blue. Again, it's a much thinner fabric. I don't know. I would have liked it much more if it was the cargo threads. I don't know why they don't bring those back. Those were their best thread sweats. That's much more my vibe. The quality, ALPHALETE's quality is much better. Like their staple joggers, if you're wanting a thick, plush, sturdy sweatpant, go for ALPHALETE. This is not thick, this is not sturdy. It feels like you could get a hole in this quite easily. Not as like velvety soft as Cloud either. Cloud is also thicker. If that's your vibe, go for Cloud than threads. I do like the colors. I wish the drawstring was internal. Don't like that it's on the outside. It's got pockets. Again, it's a jogger, so it's cuffed. There's a medium, and these are not oversized. I honestly should have done a large because they're just too tight in the leg area. They're not the baggy vibe I like. So I don't know if I would honestly spend my own money on these. Really thin quality. Again, I like an oversized fit, and that is not what this is. I think the look I like. Like I like where it's like really wide right here, baggy, edgy, and then you pair it with an itty bitty crop. That's more my cup of tea personally. No, I don't hate these. And this is gonna totally come down to preference, but I like when it's like wider. This is a medium and it's barely wide. So, and like the leg area is just too fitted. So it's just not giving the vibe that I currently like. You guys know, if you follow me on Instagram, have seen any of my like gym OOTD posts. I like the really baggy, wide sweats, and then you pair it again with an itty bitty crop. I think if I were going to spend my own money on some red joggers, I think I would go with the Formula Red ALPHALETE staple joggers over these, as that is much thicker, more plush, sturdy, a much nicer quality, and they're probably the same price. So yeah, and I also know that thread shrinks in the wash, so I'm like, God, I don't want these to get any smaller. I really should have done a large. If you want an oversized fit, you're gonna want to size up like 2 sizes. Not in the hoodie though. The sweats, yes, but not in the zip or the crew. And then again, I got it in the blue, and I think like with the tank, this will be super cute. But again, I don't overall really love the fit, but again, that's just based on my like personal preference with sweats. That is all for this quick little Buff Bunny review. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below. Again, the launch is January 3rd, 1 p.m. CST. Code Bailey saves you 10% off. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.